and welcome to another race day 13. We are on our final week of races for the third season. We have our super carts in Germany to start things off. But starting off, I need to add a newly created, welcome to the club, Rabid Sponge. Make sure his stuff is proper. Today is a reaction track. Higher. Welcome to the league. Give it a minute or two for people to file in here and start watching the stream. All right, we got the boys in. Like I said, we're starting in Germany with some super carts. Starting off with our qualifying lap. The racers cross the starting line. I believe this is my first view of Germany. I don't recall watching it last year. I believe this was a newer ad. But yeah, it's a really nice course compared to some of the more basic ones that the supercarts usually will run. Puff has a commanding lead, but Serious Chicken and Ray Alexander are right behind him. We'll see how the straightaway goes, and it looks like there's quite a bit of separation, and Puff will take the qualifying lap. Congratulations. Congratulations to Puff, followed by Serious Chicken, Ray Alexander, rounding out your top 3 for the qualifying lap. Serious Chicken and Ray Alexander take a quick inside line, followed by the shower bot of Alpine. We'll keep an eye on the group. Is quite a bit of wall collision, but I don't think that will be any problem for our racers today. Showerbot goes off the course. Can You Take Me Higher is made great strides to get into that 3rd position as he takes these corners really cleanly. Puff trying to retake that 3rd position, and he will. And Julian O'Sullivan is sitting in that 6th spot. Caleb Hayden joining the picture, making some moves up after quite disastrous qualifying lap for what is expected of him. I believe he's the points leader or up there for supercarts. Can You Take Me Higher is doing a great job of holding him off and retaining that 4th position. But with Hayden on those hard tires, same with Sanicbot, they will stay out on the course a little bit longer as Kanukin is rolling on some really worn soft tires, and then he enters the pits as Caleb Hayden will proceed to pass the grouping of soft tire users as they make their first pit stops. Serious Chicken quickly regains his lead over Caleb Hayden, and Ray Alexander is back into that 3rd position. Ray Alexander bypassing Caleb Hayden as those hards were very slick and not holding up very well on this course with a lot of mobility and movement. Quite a battle for 4th with Julian O'Sullivan and Can You Take Me Higher. As Take Me Higher also goes into the pits quite early. I'm surprised that he had done that. Maybe switching to medium tires, trying to really get some respecting how rigorous this track is in wall hitting and making sure to stay with a clean pair of tires. But he is quickly back into that top 5. And Puff will bypass the tandem from Maple Stroop Racing and go and have sole possession of 1st. I fully expect Serious Chicken and Ray Alexander to be finished with pitting at this point. Puff may try and go the distance, but I fully expect a pit stop to occur in the next lap or 2. And just as talked about, Puff makes his pit stop, and Serious Chicken on the soft tires will have sole possession of 1st. And Ferrari, with their debut race in Supercarts this season, is holding in that 4th position. As I say, they start swerving and give a little bit of a window for Caleb Hayden to pass. And Julian O'Sullivan as well. Can You Take Me Higher making his final pit of the race. Serious Chicken with a commanding 4-second lead over his teammate Ray Alexander. However, he's going to be going very cautious through all of these turns, maybe even making a pit. Yep, making a final pit of the race, giving a window for Puff to pass him and take the lead. Puff is going to be done with going in the pits as we're in the final laps of things. And Pitt is our leader. Looks like, unless something disastrous happens to Puff, as I say, that Serious Chicken is motoring through these corners trying to make a move. And on the straightaway, Puff saves his turbo and gets the first checkered flag of the day, and Serious Chicken will take second. Ray Alexander will take third. Caleb Hayden fourth. Julian O'Sullivan in fifth, and Can You Take Me Higher in that sixth position. Congratulations to our racers. An unfortunate day for Woody Guthrie, who finishes outside of the top 10. Puff also getting fastest lap, so congratulations to him. Phenomenal points day. Got as many as you could. Now the hard part, spelling Azerbaijan. Wait, no, I can just say Germany. Good. Next, we will have Formula 3. That is in Azerbaijan. It is also wet. Full rain today. As everyone will be rocking the wet tires the entire race. Jackson Kyle is a course favorite. I believe he is maxed out in reaction and also has one of the higher inclement weather ratings. Same with Stumpy Jones. There is going to be a lot of touching of the wall and damage just as a result of the tight lines through the city. And Stumpy Jones will take first, followed by Jackson Kyle, Sophia Toth, and Scud Muffin in that fourth position. The courses are, I believe, a little bit longer, if I remember correctly. So I may take breaks and pauses here and there, especially in Formula 2 and Formula 1, because the races are so long. Give voice a little bit of a break. They're off Sophia Toth, kind of skidding out a little bit. Sophia Toth is a favorite for a podium finish today, as they also are one of the best inclement weather racers. As through this choke point of chaos, everyone seems to make through it pretty relatively cleanly. The tandem of Stumpy Jones and Scud Muffin are have the early lead, but that may change very quickly, especially with how wild this race could be. Nico Schiffwell moving into that third spot. A lot of spots to get hung up on and have problems racing. That's going to be a really common point. Everyone going through that line with tremendous speed, just using the building or the wall to ricochet back into the track. Maintains a lot of speed, while also giving you a solid dump out line. Jackson Kyle makes his move to get into that fourth position and goes aggressively through the chicane to pass Sophia Toth. Does cost him a little bit of damage, but gives him the position. Jackson Kyle, with that damage he sustained, is actually one of the earliest racers to make their pit stop, get some fresh tires and heal up, or get some body damage recovered. Scud Muffin passed. Never mind. Stumpy Jones slams Scud Muffin into the wall, retaking that first lead. What an aggressive line by Scud to pass in one of the most dangerous points. I'll check on a little bit of the rest of the race as we see Sophia Toth move into that second position. Jackson Kyle makes his move back up into that top 6, and Max is in that top 10 as well. Fillmore Carlin, I believe, is a race leader, is just outside of the top 10. Sophia Toth moving into second. I believe Scud Muffin took a pit stop, so all the racers in the top 4 have yet to pit. I fully expect them to pit. Scud Muffin will catch up and move into that 6th position. Jackson Kyle moving up into that 4th, and Scud also retaking that 3rd spot. And Sophia Toth, with having that pit under their belt, will come back into the race for the top 5. Stumpy Jones making the mistake of staying out on some really detrimental tires, giving a lot of ground up to Scud Muffin and Jackson Kyle. We'll see how this bites Stumpy Jones in the butt. With this crew decision, you can see him going all over the place, losing all momentum. But they may be going for a two pit race, maybe even a 1 pit race. Okay, thank God. Scud Muffin and Jackson Kyle will pass Stumpy Jones and have the lead going into the 8th lap. Having those fresh tires, and Sophia Toth is in that 3rd position. Jackson Kyle still taking quite a bit of damage relative to the other racers, but he was also the first one to pit. Kyle taking that second pit of the race, trying to keep those tires nice and fresh, and Scud holding that sole position in first. Sophia Toth in that second position. Sisyphus Cuddles doing phenomenally, keeping their head, keeping things steady, staying in that fourth position as Jackson Kyle is charging, and Nico Schiffwell is right behind Kyle. Demartidis, or however you pronounce the name, I can't really tell, is 3 seconds behind Nico Schiffwell, and then we have Ambrose Rove in 8th and Gritty Ray in 9th. Fillmore Carlin taking up that 10th space, battling back and forth with Fillmore Carlin. Sophia Toth has bypassed Scud Muffin to take the lead. Scud, your current points leader, I think it's back and forth between him and Fillmore Carlin. I honestly haven't checked recently. But Scud, I'm going to keep the focus on this passing of Sisyphus Cuddles as Jackson Kyle moves back into the top 4, having a great race from behind, regardless of having those 2 pit stops. Scud Muffin really pushing the distance on these rough tires. Just like Stumpy Jones, when you get to this point in tire wear, you'll likely lose 3 to 4 seconds to the field compared to just taking a nice fresh set of tires. Sophia Toth, similarly, just having slightly fresher tires compared to Scud, chooses to pit, which I think is the wisest option you can make right here. Really just having fresh tires for a late race charge. Jackson Kyle also will likely not need to pit anymore. He pit very efficiently and has a 4-second gap between him and first and Stumpy Jones. However, with Stumpy Jones likely needing to pit, it's anyone's race at this point. Sophia Toth, there's quite a bit of space between the first 3 and actually the first 5. There's a second gap between everyone except for Sophia Toth and Jackson Kyle, which is really only just about a half a second gap. But Nico Schiffwell is charged and staying really close with Ambrose Rove. As a result, is taking a tremendous amount of damage. They will make it to the pit, but they are smoking. And in this rain, that's a lot. So Ambrose Rove will hold on and pass Nico Schiffwell, and Nico Schiffwell will get some body work. Jackson Kyle, Stumpy Jones took a final pit of the race, and Jackson Kyle and Sophia Toth are battling back and forth for that first position. As Sophia Toth slingshots around A. Jobin, I'm curious if Jackson Kyle will take a pit stop or not with the damage that he sustained, and he will forego it and try and push it to the limit. Will Scud Muffin and Stumpy Jones be able to catch up to Jackson Kyle? I don't know. Sophia Toth looks like the clear favorite as he is far and away in the lead to take this checkered flag. We'll keep the eye on Jackson Kyle as Stumpy Jones and Scud Muffin make it through the tightest point of the track. And A. Jobin is holding up Stumpy Jones from passing Jackson Kyle, and Stumpy Jones passes Jackson Kyle right at the end. And Jobin swerves into Jackson Kyle. As Sophia Toth, congratulations on taking the checkered flag, followed by Stumpy Jones, Jackson Kyle, and Scud Muffin in 4th. Sisyphus Cuddles with a phenomenal but quiet race at 5th. Ambrose Rove in 6th. Nico Schiffwell in 7th. Ryan Gosling taking 8th. Dan Martinez taking 9th. And Gritty Way taking the 10th position. Interesting race. Congratulations, Sophia Toth. Having a great race and really showing up in the weather. take a second as I learn how to spell Azerbaijan. There we go. Fun race. I like that course. It's a fun course. A lot of action, a lot of wall touching, some chaos, especially in the rain. Be interesting to see if we get that with Formula 2 as well. I'm sure we will in the tight spots, but I don't know about the other points. Okay, there we go. Okay, we're all set to go for Formula 2. Clear weather out here today for this race. As we do some qualifying laps, I'll let the cars take us away. It's quite a battle back and forth between Morgan Charo and Nash DePaulo for this race. But as I say that, Hot Wheels Racing catapults into the lead and down the final stretch, taking the qualifying lap, getting the pole position. Alrighty. It'll be interesting to see how this track plays out in dry weather. As Dale Gordon Jr. opts for those medium tires compared to Morgan Charo, who takes those softs. Pete Savage also in those softs, as Dale Gordon Jr. gets hung up on the initial wall and falls back into actually 5th place as Popcat and Lady Driver take him on. Those medium tires just not being warm. I don't know what to say. Dale Gordon Jr. just taking some inefficient lines. Lady Driver with a clear lead, going wonderfully through that corner. Giving themselves a solid half second to a second lead over the field. In this middle, there's quite a cluster of racers in that 6 to 11. So we'll keep an eye on this, as Pete Savage actually passes Lady Driver in the top, taking an inside line, but Lady Driver knocking Savage into the wall to retain their lead. Tandem of Ferrari holding that 3rd and 4th position, doing a great job. Nash DePaulo and Scott Pilgrim also following suit. Dale Gordon Jr. finally getting aggressive after giving up 5 placements, and actually is the victim of an early pit stop, especially on those medium tires. That is a wrench in the strategy. Pete Savage, half second, actually the first one to pit, as well as Lady Driver and Sharo. Popcat will pass them with those hard tires. Who's had a return to form once I think their driver came back from vacation or something, or was in Monaco and got off the ship, and he was just out of shape, and since he came back, has been phenomenal. I think he's won 2 races, so 2 of the most recent races. Scott Pilgrim, Kyle Busch Light, as well as Victory head into those pits. As Popcat makes their first pit of the race, Pete Savage, having already pitted, will take the lead, with Morgan Sharo right behind. Dale Gordon Jr. and Lady Driver in holding down the 3rd and 4th position. For being teammates, they really are bumping each other back into the walls. I get it, because Dale Gordon Jr. has to get back into those that first position. As I say that, he rushes to pit. Now that the field is been going for a few laps, there's about a second or 2 of space between each racer. A lot of the chaos has lifted, and we just have some good old-fashioned efficient driving. Kyle Busch Light making the move on the inside of Zoom Zoom Igo Quick, his teammate, and Carvalho also in that 8th position. Morgan Sharo really pushing these medium tires. We'll see if they start to lose time and give a window, as Jimmy Schmo actually pushes Sharo into the wall. I'm kind of surprised Jimmy Schmo wasn't issued a penalty for not letting Sharo pass. Lady Driver and Popcat. Popcat passes Lady Driver. And Sharo ends up going into the pit. Lady Driver opting to forego the pit this round will hit the pits next time. And then Nash Apollo and Pete Savage in the 3rd and 4th position. Pete Savage takes the inside line on Lady Driver and passes, taking second spot. Lady Driver heads into the pits for their 2nd pit of the race, allowing Nash Apollo and Dale Gordon Jr. to take 3rd and 4th. Pete Savage passes Popcat, as Popcat actually ends up going into the pits. Nash DePaula moving up into second, 3 seconds behind Pete Savage, using that turbo to close the gap. As the drivers have gone through the narrowest point of the course, they seem to have spaced out enough that there's significantly less chaos, and drivers seem to be missing the walls altogether. Except for Dale Gordon Jr. He loves walls. So 16 laps into the race, we have Pete Savage in first, Popcat in second, Lady Driver in fourth. Morgan-Charro actually just passing them. It's a back and forth with Lady Driver, Morgan-Charro, and Nash DePaula for the 3 through 5 position. Everyone's about equal, and then we have Dale Gordon Jr. in sixth. Pete Savage making his getting fresh tires, only has him drop back into second, but he's very close to that third through fifth that we were just talking about. Pete Savage passing Popcat, but Popcat continues to stay close and takes first right back. Morgan-Charro has kind of fallen back as they were in that conversation for 3 through 5. They're back into sixth, but they are charging on these soft tires. It'll be really interesting to see if they can have these soft tires go the distance. Popcat on these hard tires will likely need to pit one more time. Same with Pete Savage may actually be able to take these medium tires the distance, but I fear if he forgoes another pit stop, he will end up just losing position, especially on this type of track. Nash DePaula, you can already see his tires are worn beyond belief, but he's taking a little bit of damage. I fully expect him to make a pit here or the next lap, even though he is back and forth with Popcat for that second spot. Yeah, DePaula makes their final pit stop of the race, and we'll focus our attention with 3 laps to go on Popcat and Pete Savage, unless there's some passing that's occurring that I don't know about, or that comes up. Like Scott Pilgrim about to pass Cavallo. Same with Zoom Zoom I Go Quick. Pete Savage actually making a pit stop, as well as Popcat making another pit stop as well. Dale Gordon Jr. as well. But Nash DePaula, with those fresh set of tires, Pete Savage has given Nash DePaula a window to hold that lead. Racers taking all sorts of precautions moving on to these soft tires to finish out the race. We haven't often seen this, but yeah, it's going to be quite the back and forth between Tapalo and Savage. And maybe even Popcat. Popcat can definitely get back into the mix. He's only a second and a half behind. All of our top 3 racers making it through the narrowest point cleanly. And we are on the final lap with a very tight top 3. Pete Savage, Nash Tapalo, and Popcat. Popcat leaves Nash Tapalo in the dust as Pete Savage is passing Terry Carpenter and will take the checkered flag, followed by Popcat. Nash Tapalo will take 3rd. Dale Gordon Jr. will take 4th. Lady Driver will take 5th. Morgan Charot taking 6th. Great race for Ferrari today. Scott Pilgrim will take 7th, unless Carvalho slows down at the end, and Carvalho will take 8th. Duhamel will take 9th, and then Zoom I Go Quick will round out your top 10. Congratulations, Nash Tapalo, on the fastest lap. Get yourself an extra point. Second half, I guess the bottom 10 placements. Kyle Busch Light in 11th, Carpeta in 12th, Steven Toast in 13th, Victory in 14th, Cole Trickle in 15th, Annie Skywalker in 16th, Chester Curd in 17th, Ozeline in 18th, Horatio Sinclair in 19th, and Jimmy Schmo in 20th. All right, it's time for the feature event. We have similar things. I believe points leader Randall Devil is largely the favorite here. As we do our qualifying lap. Buddy Utah with a commanding lead, followed slightly behind Late for Bingo for this second qualifying lap, and then Tess Simmer in the mix as well. Oh, and Tess Simmer bides his time and takes the first lap, giving it all he can at the end, or the first position, followed by Randall Devil and then Bodie Utah. we will go ahead and get into the main event. I know it's too early to call, but it looks like it's a 3-driver race, or the favorites between Bodie Utah, Tess Simmer, and Randall Devil. A lot can happen, though. A lot of random stuff. But yeah, those are looking like the favorites, as Alex Albono actually makes the move into the top 3, and Randall Devil slowing down randomly. Alex Albono in the early lead with Bodie Utah in second, Tess Simmer in third, Castile Angelic making the move up into fourth, and Von Salonier in fifth. Vander Biesing of Ice Cube Racing, it's good to see him up towards the front of the mix. I believe he had some really solid race. I remember saying his name a lot last season, so it's good to see him up and rebound. Wildly, Randall Devil has fallen out of the top 10 into 11th. It's very surprising at this point in the race. I know there's a lot of racing left and he could charge, but for the points leader, that might be a point of concern. As well as Furious Chicken. I don't know what's going on with Furious Chicken, but they are in the back of the bus. They were one of the favorites. Maybe he's a little hungover, having too much fun in Azerbaijan. Leifer Bingo, yet to take their pit, will take the early lead with Vander Biesen first. Alex Albono, opting for those hard tires, will be in third, and Bodie Utah on the mediums will be in fourth. Von Salonier passing Bodie Utah in the narrowest portion of the track. It's really interesting that that seems to be a common passing point, even though you'd think that would be the most dangerous spot to pass. Leifer Bingo really pushing these hards. Should get full use out of him. He's kept it clean. And then Von Salonier actually moving up into second. after the pit for late for Bingo. He's working his way back up into that top 5, passing Castillo Angelic, and then Mamma Mia actually making the moves into 7th, who's had a great last few races. I believe they ended up winning the last race. Wait for Bingo making the move up into 4th, passing Tessimmer. Bodie, Utah taking that line pretty roughly into the walls. As we're about a third of the race through, we have Von Salonier in 1st, and then we have Bodie, Utah in 2nd, Alex Albono in 3rd, Late for Bingo in 4th. These all with about a second or greater separation between the two outside of the competition of Bodie, Utah and Von Salonier. Actually, the battle between Felix Vanderbies and Castillo Angelic is tight, and Mamma Mia is well charging. Yeah, we've got a nice little cluster of top 4, all within being half a second of each other, or 3/4 of a second. Then there's about a 4-second gap between that group of 4 and Tessimmer, and then we also have a cluster essentially 6th through 9th. Bodie, Utah taking a tremendous amount of damage. I fully expect him to pit just because he's starting to smoke. That may end up putting him back into that 6 through 10 cluster. Randall Devil making his moves back into the top 10 as Mamma Mia has made their pit, and Bodie, Utah as well loses that ground to Tessimmer. Coming out of the pits, Bodie, Utah slams into Vanderbiesen. Unfortunately, Bodie, Utah will go into 7th, but he is also one of the earlier racers to have his second pit. Von Salonier really making those mediums work for him, and Late for Bingo goes in for a fresh set tires, and Alex Albano of Hendricks Motorsports in 2nd. Bodie, Utah makes his way back into 5th, or finds his way back into 5th just through racing alone. I don't believe the people in front of him did make a pit stop. Mamma Mia on fresh mediums, about to be passed by Pastor Maldonado. Yep, except for, yep, never mind. That's what it is. And then Randall Devil just behind Mamma Mia in 10th. Tessimmer, trying to push those hards, finds himself running into the wall, losing 3 positions to Bodie, Utah, Von Salonier, and Late for Bingo. He opts for some body work, allowing Alex Albono to pass him, and Vanderbiesen also finds himself in the pit with Bobby Brooks. This cluster of 5 cars, with Mark Martin and Harrison Andrews, finds themselves going through the nearest point of the track with our top 3 competitors. Harrison Andrews underperforming, finding himself in 18th place. It's good to see Furious Chicken has moved himself up the ranks, finding himself next to Randall Devil in 12th and 13th place. Mamma Mia has taken a lot of damage from cars and the walls, even though they have some really fresh tires. Just being in that mix is going to force them to be one of the earliest third pits of the race. And Von Salinier passes late for Bingo, and this back and forth battle for first. With 10 laps to go, still a lot of racers yet to be even on pit stops, but Von Salinier will be in first place by about 3 seconds to Alex Albono in second. Bodie Utah charging in third, and Late for Bingo also making up lost ground in fourth. Tess Simmer in fifth, Felix van der Wiesen in sixth, the Pastor in seventh, about half a second behind Van der Wiesen, and then Randall Devil in eighth, Mark Mueller in ninth, Castile Angelic in 10th. Then we also have Pure Dadley about 8 seconds behind Castile Angelic. So top 10, it's hard to make up 8 seconds or 7 seconds. So the top 10 is likely those drivers, just because of there being such a massive margin. Then we also have Mamma Mia in 12th, Jimmy Johnson in 13th, Furious Chicken in 14th, De Streak in 15th, Harrison Andrews in 16th, and then Marky Mark Martin in 17th, Alex Burkhart in 18th, Bobby Brooks in 19th, and Xavi Venegas, last year's champ, in 20th. Bodie Utah trying to make a pit stop is denied, and by the cluster of later cars. There's a little bit of a wall preventing him from getting in there. I'm really surprised we're not seeing more penalties come out on these drivers that are not allowing racers to pass them. But Utah and Alex Albano putting on soft tires to finish out the race. Battle back and forth between the two of them as Jimmy Johnson prevents Bodie Utah from passing and catching up to first and second place. So with as we just enter our 31st lap, Late for Bingo is, with 3 laps to go, Late for Bingo is in first, Von Salonier in second, Bodie Utah in third, and Alex Albano in third. Very spaced out everywhere in the top 10 except for Randall Devil and Castillo Angelic are battling for the 8th position, as they are 0.2 of a second separating each other. And then also first place is 0.7 of a second difference. Bodie Utah of John Deere Racing finally passing Late for Bingo, as Late for Bingo is held off on taking a pit using those those medium tires, and Von Salonier is actually in passing him as well. Late for Bingo pushing his tires a little bit too far, and is actually losing positions for it. He may actually fall back from first to fourth, allowing Alex Albano on those fresh tires to catch him and pass him as well. Bodie Utah with the commanding lead is likely going to be our victor with a lap to go, but Von Salonier has the ability to catch up, and we have seen larger gaps close. Same with Alex Albano as well. Late for Bingo is on the struggle bus in 4th place and is just bleeding time. Vanderbiesen in 5th as well. Bodie Utah's passing gets first. Von Salonier takes second. Alex Albano in third. Late for Bingo in 4th. Vanderbiesen in 5th. The Pastor will take 6th. And then Tess Simmer will take 7th. Castile Angelic will take 8th, and then Randall Devil will take 9th, still securing points. And then Mark Mueller takes 10th. Bodie Utah with the fastest lap, tearing it up. Congratulations to John Deere Racing, getting the dub. And that is the end of our racing. And thank you for hanging out. That was the top 10, and then the 11 through 12 was Pure Dadley, Furious Chicken, Roger G. Streak, Mamma Mia in 14th, Jimmy Johnson 15th, Alex Burkhart in 16th, Harrison Andrews in 17th, Mark Martin in 18th, Bobby Brooks in 19th, and then Xavi Venegas out on a little bit of a cruise today, taking the final spot. Like I said, final week of racing. We should have racing either tomorrow or Thursday, and then I believe the final race of the season should be Saturday off the top of my head, but it could be Friday, so just keep keep around for that. Congratulations again to all of our racers, and have a great rest of your day.